Start recording. Test. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello and welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Noah and I wanted to welcome all of you to another installment of Monologue Monday here on my YouTube channel. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning back in, and as always, I hope you can take something away from this video as well. With all of that being said, let's get into this installment of Monologue Monday. So we are back in my beautiful closet office here in the States. If you guys haven't seen my previous videos, I just got back from a pretty extended stay over in Japan / Malaysia towards the end of the trip, but I was gone for about an entire month, right? So I was completely out of this area, completely detached from the United States as a whole. What do I want to say? So we are back, right? We are back in my beautiful, beautiful closet office that I have going on here. I just got back from about a month-long trip that I was doing over in Japan. I don't usually take trips that long, but it was kind of circumstantial for this instance here. So I made a lot of videos. If you haven't checked, not a lot, I guess, but a decent amount of videos while I was over there, and they're going to still come within the next couple weeks here. I do have some saved and edited that I will be posting in the next 2 weeks. So if you are interested, I don't even want to say that either. So I am officially back in the United States. I was gone for about a month for a extended stay over in Japan. I don't usually take trips that long, but the circumstances kind of fit in this specific instance, but I am officially back. And while I was gone, there was something big that happened, right? On, I don't know what day, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th of November, there was the United States, presidential election, right? Something that maybe some people look forward to, some people hate, some people don't care about, some people are indifferent. There's a lot of different opinions on, all of the politics within the United States and other countries and so on too. But this is something that occurred while I was overseas, right? While I was kind of on this vacation. And this Monologue Monday is really kind of some takeaways that I have briefly on the entire situation. Now, I'm, by no means any kind of political scientist. I don't really care about politics that much, if I'm being quite honest. I've found that staying clear of that realm and focusing on myself has been, I've become just more successful in every aspect of my life. So I really don't pay attention to it, but I can still I would still kind of like to provide some feedback that I have for some of you that might really be into politics, right? You might be very passionate about it. You might maybe not be passionate about it, but you might care about the results. And that's kind of what I want to talk about briefly within this Monologue Monday. So the key takeaway, and obviously the first thing I should say is that in my personal opinion, it doesn't really matter who gets put in, right? I'm not, going to sit here and pick sides because frankly, I don't really have a favorite side. I think both sides, the left and the right, whatever you want to call it, have decent points that are relevant, within our society, but neither side is perfect, nor even really that close to perfect, at least in my personal opinion. And from my experience talking with a lot of individuals that are more my senior, no matter what the result was, generally speaking, in their lifetime, it didn't really change their day-to-day drastically, right? It was unnoticeable. It was more so just kind of a headline than anything. And obviously this isn't the same for everybody. I'm sure there are certain individuals out there that have had maybe drastic changes in their life, positive or negative, depending on who was elected in previous presidencies. But this is kind of my own experience with individuals that I have personally talked to. So I think that could be maybe the first takeaway from results, right? Any kind of result like this where, there are certain things that both candidates talk about, right? They want to do this, they will do this, they will do that. A lot of times I don't think those are fulfilled to their fullest, right? Obviously this makes sense, right? If you're trying to get a position, right? If you're trying to get a specific role, if you're trying to become president, right? You're going to talk big, right? Naturally, it makes sense to, right? If you're interviewing for a prestigious position, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars for your salary and all of these benefits and so on, you're going to talk about yourself like you are the hero of the town, right? Generally speaking, or I think a lot of individuals will. So it only makes sense. But I think one thing that I said it. I think like 4 times in the last minute. I don't like that either. So for this episode of Monologue Monday, I really just wanted to make it a quick one. I didn't want to make it a 15-minute for this episode because there's just one big topic that I think I wanted to share my own personal opinions on, and that, of course, is or I should say are, the 2024 presidential election results that we had here in the United States just within the last couple weeks here. And and of course I do want to say I'm by no means even kind of an amateur at this. It's just I don't follow, I don't care. I mean, if I'm being quite honest with you, there's so many other things that I have that take priority in my life over arguing about politics, about reading a bunch of articles on it. It's not my forte. But there is one thing that I think has really worked well for me in recent years when it comes to any kind of politics within the United States. And this, of course, is the idea that no matter who is in that seat, right, in that office, in that White House, no matter what side they're on, no matter what part of the country they're from or anything like that, at the end of the day, for me at least, I like to think of myself, right? I like to think of what I can do to put myself in a better situation in life. I like to think about what I could be doing better that could maybe make other people's lives easier. My family, my friends, significant other, whatever. Even strangers, right? What I could be doing that would make people that I really don't even know, their lives better as well. And generally speaking, I like to take responsibility kind of into my own hands when it comes to my life. I don't like the idea that one individual, right, one president overseeing a country of 300 million plus, here in the United States. I don't even know what it's at right now. Maybe it's 330 million or something like that. But I know it's over 300 million people can make everybody's life better, right? Just by being in this seat, in this house, signing some executive orders, making some new, laws or whatever. It's not going to, realistically speaking, it's not going to make everybody's life better. But the way that I like to think about it is that that is true, that this one individual, it's impossible for them to make everybody's, well, it's not impossible technically, but it's very, very unlikely that they're going to make everybody's life easier. But I like to think that I have the power and control, and all of you guys do, to make your lives better, no matter who is in that seat, no matter what side of the political spectrum that they happen to sit on. You ultimately have quite a bit of control when it comes to how good or how bad your life is going to be, how healthy you're going to be, in some cases, right? Because there's genetics in play and so on, but there's also the idea of your financial situation, right? This is primarily a finance channel. Finances are talked about heavily, forever, basically. I mean, maybe not forever, but very recently, in the last 5 years, 10 years, they everything kind of revolves around finances, debt, economics, and so on. And to a certain extent, we as individuals do have the ability to better our financial standing. Now, are you going to go from $40,000 to $300,000 in a week? Probably not, right? But there are steps that we can take to make our financial situations better. And this goes for basically everything, in my own personal opinion. So the main takeaway from this quick Monologue Monday is that it doesn't matter who's in the seat. It doesn't matter what side they sit on, at least, thus far, right? There hasn't been one individual who burnt down a country yet, at least. Well, only time will tell. But generally speaking, right, I think it's really important, and this is what's really worked for me in the last 4 years or so, where I've kind of separated myself from kind of banking on the fact that whoever's in office is going to make my life easier, or my life better, my life more fulfilling. And I've taken responsibility kind of into my own hands to do that, right? Looked into ways that I could better my personal health, that I could better my financial standing, that I could better my academic standing, right? That I could keep learning, that I could better my mental health. All of these different things, we ultimately have quite a bit of control to make our lives better, right? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, who's in that seat, right? It hasn't for some time. I know for some individuals, this isn't something that you generally want to hear. They're very passionate, right, about who's in there and what side, right or left, that they're on. But the last, like I said, in the last 4 years, even before that, taking responsibility into my own hands, right, and trying to do things on my own, and not kind of putting that responsibility, making my life better, on some other person that I've never met and will never meet, has been very, very beneficial for me. It's gotten me to a really good place in life, and I think with even more hard work coming from myself, it's only going to get better, right? So hopefully, I didn't step on too many toes with this kind of opinion, but it is something that I definitely do feel is important to realize, that you can't just expect one person to better the lives of hundreds of millions of people across a country, right? We ultimately need to take responsibility for our own life. Now, if the person that you wanted to get in that house, right, in the White House, isn't there, it's not the end of the world, right? You need to, people need to get over that. I think people need to get over that and keep moving forward in life and trying to, like I said, work on things on your own. There is no better way of getting things done in life than taking responsibility for yourself and trying to ultimately make your life better. But there you go. Those are just a quick few thoughts that I have on the results that we saw come in, a couple weeks ago here, and some steps that I think people maybe should consider if they don't feel the best about their life and they want someone to blame. It's not always who's in office, right, to blame. There are some things, I will say, that you could maybe assign a little bit of blame. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we do, as citizens, right, as consumers, we do have quite a bit of control, generally speaking, over how our life plays out. Now, that's not always the case, but I think generally it is. I think we do have a lot of power, and I hope maybe this monologue was a little bit incentivizing for you to maybe kind of take matters into your own hands to ultimately try to make your life better overall. And of course, as always, if you've stuck along this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for your time today, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. But of course, I want to hear from you guys as well. What do you think of my thoughts on this matter? Do you think I have a little bit of merit in saying that taking your responsibility into your own hands is probably a But of course, I want to hear from you guys as well. What do you think of my opinions on this matter? Please let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And as always, if you've stuck along this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for your time today, and I hope to see you again sometime soon.